to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here where sports meets life, and happy to be here with Isaac Outford, of course, myself, Dan Tortora, here inside of Myers Creek. It is a game day, and of course, Wake Up Call game day here with you for every single home game this season for Syracuse football. Hard to believe that this is the second to last one, though.
Yeah.
And we won't be back until about a month from now, right after Thanksgiving, 2 days after Thanksgiving. Syracuse plays tonight on Halloween against North Carolina and Bill Belichick, and then after that is done, they will be on the road. They will have their second bye week of the season, and they still got to go to Miami, they got to go to Notre Dame, and then they'll end the season against Boston College. Last game of the season for the regular season and last home game, both on November 29th, and so we'll be back here at Myers Creek, Syracuse Inner Harbor on November 29th, 2 days after Thanksgiving, probably very full.
Post game?
It's probably going to be an early game for BC, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So, you know, that time they've held. I was just talking to Iowa's offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach Tim Lester, who used to be the OC and the quarterbacks coach here at Syracuse, and they told Iowa, we're not giving you a game. Like, they're on a bye week right now, and they're supposed to give them 2 weeks in advance the game time, and they said, we're not giving you a game time for Oregon, Iowa, which is in Iowa. They said, we're going to wait.
Oh, okay.
So they're holding out on them because they got to decide, you know, they want to get the most eyes on that game. It's going to be a good game, right? It's Indiana's two best wins facing each other.
Right.
So Iowa hasn't been ranked. They should be ranked, in my opinion. I actually said to him what I've been thinking. I was like, if you take Illinois, that shouldn't have been ranked, and you take Iowa, that should have, if you flip them, I said you almost should have been in Illinois' spot. Like Iowa could have been in that spot.
Yeah, definitely.
They're 6-2 in the Big Ten. They're 4-1 in the. They're 4-1 in the Big Ten, 6-2 overall. Speaking of Iowa, and you know we're going to talk about a little look across college football here tonight, but Syracuse here for Tortora and
Albert.
And of course, this Wake Up Call game day proudly presented exclusively by Myers Creek. Myers Creek, we are on 720 Van Rensselaer Street in Syracuse, New York, in the Inner Harbor. And of course, last night I was at the other location and showing some love in a Wake Up Call spotlight for Brittany Brigandy. And Brittany is a Central New York native, and she is a 4-time Hall of Famer before the age of 35. Made it to the Lemoyne Gold Wave Hall of Fame, and she also made it to the Upstate Lacrosse Foundation Hall of Fame, to the NE10, the conference that Lemoyne used to be in, Hall of Fame, and most recently she got inducted with Tom Coughlin and the crew to the Greater Syracuse Sports Hall of Fame, and she's got a bunch of records at Lemoyne in lacrosse, and she told me, she said, I hope your little sister beats him. So
Really? Okay.
Let's go, Franny.
So she got a chance?
Yeah, Franny got a shot.
Okay. I like
Franny's
that.
an animal.
All right. I like that.
So, like being here, it's weird. It almost feels like we're coming off a bye week. Maybe it's because I don't want to remember what happened to Syracuse last weekend, but
Yeah.
I said 42-10 was my prediction, that they would lose 42-10 to Georgia Tech, and they lost 41-16. So pretty close.
Yeah, I know. I teased you a little bit. I said you like the 40s, don't you?
Oh, I do.
Yeah,
because
so,
I thought they'd get up there.
Yeah.
And the week before, you were within 1 point of a perfect score.
Yeah, 31 to 13 was my prediction.
Yeah, and it was like 30 to 13.
Yeah.
So, coming off of Georgia Tech, what are you thinking? We got Syracuse fans, people decked out in orange. I know people are going up to the Dome. What else are you going to do on a Friday night when it's windy and rainy and it's 45? This is a perfect Halloween night, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Because most of the time my mom took me trick-or-treating as a kid, it was windy and raining, and there were leaves everywhere.
It does do that, Now that you think about it, when I think of my past days, it's cold, rainy.
Yeah.
So, but it makes good fun when you're with a big crowd of people. And, house hunting and finding a bunch of candy, and as a little kid, that's a dream. So, but yeah, you know what? Coming off that Georgia Tech loss, I think hopefully the team is going to try to find themselves. I think Ricky has 4 games under his belt to try to kind of prove himself.
Yeah.
And I won't disagree with it's probably time for another guy to get in there and get some exposure. I think Fran even kind of mentioned it, after the loss of like, hey, this is a development process of the team. But again, like you were saying, fans don't want to hear that. We want to come out and cheer the team on for victory.
You got 4 games left. You don't want to be cheering on a lame duck.
Right. So, hopefully the team went back to the drawing board, opened up the competition at quarterback.
I think Nick told me he's going to play quarterback.
Okay.
Nick's in.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's gonna be Luke Carney, and then Jakari Williams.
And then Nick to clean it up.
Yeah. And then Nick's going to clean it up.
The victory formation.
Actually, Nick, they might need you to hit for the Dodgers tonight. So. All right. Well, we need some help, Nick. I'm not kidding. Like, I'll give you a ride to the Dome. Can you put some pads on? All right. Okay. Yeah, I think at this point, because Fran kind of joked about it in the press conference last week, he was going to the media and he was like, "Can you play quarterback?
Yeah.
Can you play?" So yeah. So I mean, we're in a place right now where it's time for a change. I said I would give Ricky his time.
Yeah.
Steve was 3-1 as a starter. I'm going to give him the last game because he played to the third quarter, and he's the reason why they got up.
Right.
Moving the ball. And so I mean, honestly, you're literally looking at the same time for the most part. You're looking at.
And wouldn't that be fitting? Steve got 4 games. Ricky gets 4. Now the last 4.
Luke.
Yeah, anybody. Well, open competition. Luke, Jakari, anybody.
Yeah, I mean, remember, Rich is another guy.
Yeah.
So
I was impressed with him in the spring game. To be honest with you, he had a couple of deep passes in that spring game, and I was like, okay, he's young, but I mean, for his height, me personally, I prefer a guy that's maybe 6'3", 6'5", but I mean, I'm not going to hold that against him. There's a lot of short quarterbacks that's out there that can do it. So, but I was fairly impressed with him in the spring.
Yeah, I know you and I liked watching him in the spring game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Rich is people forget about Jakari Williams because they saw Luke Carney come out in the Colgate game. Mm-hmm. They just said, okay, so that's the third string guy who's now the second string guy. So then, I don't hear anybody talk about Jakari, and Jakari's been here the longest.
Right.
Of all those guys, of Rich and Joe Filardi and all those guys. They forget my Italian dude is out there, Filardi, doing his thing. So, they got, and I think Miller, so right now, Syracuse has 4 quarterbacks not named Steve Angeli and Ricky Collins Jr.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's a deep room, and the opportunity is there for those young guys to come out and try to execute offense, because that's mainly what we really need to see. A running game that's going to support the passing game. Give the defense an opportunity to get on the sideline, maybe draw up a scheme if something's being thrown at them differently. Because, Bill Belichick's going to probably come out with something different than what he used in the previous game. So, all hands on deck for this game.
Yeah, well, Syracuse gets to see Bill Belichick. Who would have thought that Bellies was going to be in the Dome, right, for a Halloween game?
Right.
And, coaching a college football team. So, I mean, Bill Belichick, North Carolina's struggling too. They pushed some teams. It took everything Virginia had to beat them.
Right.
17-16. And so, I mean, what do you think about Bill Belichick coming in? I mean, if for nothing else, I think Syracuse fans, it might be a little sad, a little frustrated, a little lethargic. Right. Like on a Friday night, you can go see Syracuse's game tonight for as low as $5 to go see Bill Belichick. And I was looking at college football games, and I was telling you this before we got here. Some games, lowest ticket is $2.50. Mm-hmm. Syracuse's is $5. So you can go to a game by yourself, or you can go with 49 of your friends to the game tonight.
Yeah, there you go.
For $250. So, I mean, why wouldn't you want to go see Bill Belichick?
Yeah, I mean, I think even the whole league was excited when North Carolina hired Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it like on media day when he had his opportunity to come out?
It was insane. Security got bigger and bigger and bigger from day 1 to day 2 to day 3, and they were like blocking the escalator, and they had like people standing in front of it, and they had these like ropes up, and there was like a line of people. I went into the room, and I sit in the front row, and I asked my questions from there in the ACC kickoff, and I was like, I'm not moving. I said, I don't want to go outside, and I don't want to see all the craziness because it's gonna. I'm gonna not like it.
If you move, your seat's gonna be taken.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, I was like, I got a dart in my pocket in the back of the room. So I wasn't messing around with anybody with that. But yeah, I knew Bill Belichick. How are you? See, I love that. Yeah. I love seeing Syracuse, people that support no matter what.
There you go.
It's our city, right? It's our city. Okay.
I'm not fair with
There we go.
Hey, listen, I think you're going to win this weekend against San Fran coming to town for the Giants.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart.
There we go.
What is your first name? Lisa.
Appreciate you.
Lisa's awesome out here. So everybody needs to be like Lisa. Just smiling tonight.
There we go.
Thank you.
Go
That's
Orange.
right. I love that. I
Love it.
You know, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, last week or a couple weeks ago when we were here, you know, people were visibly frustrated.
Yeah, understandable.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, because they want, I mean, no matter how good your defense is, I think any fan would agree with me on this. No matter how stout the defense is, if you can't move the ball, the game gets boring.
Exactly.
And you know, I think fans,
It's just a simple thing, just executing first downs. How many times have you seen the team execute a first down and the crowd gets into it?
Right.
You know, that's basically what it is. You execute first downs, and when you got the ball, your crowd stays into it. Your defense stop on third down, and you keep the crowd in it. So
Right.
it goes both ways.
And that's the thing is like when you look at defensively, when a team is like stout and playing well, it's all well and good. But again, like when you're not moving the ball, when that's not happening, then you know there's a frustration. I think fans are like, hey, if our defense isn't stopping anybody, but we're scoring and we win the game 42-39.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like all right, that's still fun.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
if the game is
we'll still
13
talk
to
about
10,
the defense, but it's still fun. Yeah. Exactly.
if it's 13-10, I feel like people are like, yeah, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
Because that's like a Bears-Falcons game.
A rock fight, you know.
Right.
They what do they say? Offense sells tickets and defense wins championships.
Yeah, people want to see a show.
Yeah.
They don't want to see 3 and out. And, you know, but speaking of 3 and out, I mean, my Syracuse football player of the week, proudly presented by Myers Creek, from this past week was Yasin Willis.
Okay.
I was like, who else can I pick?
Yeah,
Right?
I mean,
And-
the first play of the game. I mean,
Yeah, after Syracuse got the fumble recovery on Georgia Tech's opening drive, Syracuse's first play of the game at Georgia Tech was a 41-yard run by Yasin Willis down from the Georgia Tech 42 to the Georgia Tech 1-yard line.
Right.
And then Syracuse had 2 penalties, took a sack, and kicked a field goal, which like took the wind out of the sails of the team for sure.
Right.
But Yasin Willis, 10 carries, 7.6 yards a carry, 76 yards. So, I mean, you look at that and you say, yeah, 41 of that came on one run, but, you know, what a way to start the game. And then how does a guy who goes 41 yards on the first play of the game to the 1-yard line brings you almost to the promised land, and you let him run the ball 9 more times for the rest of the game? Like, he should be running the ball 20 to 25 times with this offense right now.
You have to, because with the inexperience at quarterback, you need to lean on the running game, and that's what we haven't seen out of this offense. And maybe it's a pass-happy offense, and that's what they do, and they're going to stick to their motto. But again, you have to have the running game to support that. And you get down to the 1-yard line, there's an offensive penalty, you know, push you back 5 yards, so that hurts you right there.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then there's times in the game when it was like 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and they couldn't even get 1 yard with the running game. So that again brings frustration to it. So I mean, they have to fix that definitely. I don't know if it's just I think the center was hurt this last game. They had the backup in there.
Josh Miller back.
So I mean, I'm not saying that was the reason, but again, you got to find better plays to get a yard.
Yeah, and the thing is if you can't, it is debilitating. If a defense knows that you're on their 1-yard line and you can't get in, then they're going to look at you all day and they're going to stack the box.
Exactly.
You know, and I don't think it's a Yasin problem, and I don't think it's a Will problem. I think it's a Syracuse offensive line problem.
It's a mentality. You know, you got to come in there. If we say tough,
Yeah.
is that what the T is?
Yeah.
So-
Detailed, accountable, relentless, and tough.
Right. So I mean, you got to in those moments you got to step up, and you know, 1 yard, like what they say, the game is games of inches. So you got to make those plays when it's there to make.
Well, and you know, my thing is when we take a look at how things have been going and all that, you know, detailed, accountable, relentless, and tough. I have not seen this team be detailed.
Right.
I have not seen this team be relentless. I have not seen this team be tough. And the accountability, I give it to Fran because he said, blame me.
Right.
So I'll say Fran's being accountable. But, you know, when I talked to him earlier in the season about Dart, he said that they were only doing 2 of the things. And they've had to work on doing all of the things. Now I think they're doing almost none of Dart.
Right.
And you know, I mean, that's the thing is if you're detailed, it means that your preparation's good. You know what's going on. You're not going to make those stupid mistakes.
Right.
If you're accountable, then if it's on you, it's on you. And you see guys on the field, they'll put their hand on their chest and say, "That's me."
Right.
If you're relentless, you're not going to give up. And if you're tough, you're not going to let somebody bully you for a yard.
Right. Right. I mean, it comes down to straight what you just said. I mean, those guys got to believe in themselves, and I know they fight with everything they got. I mean, we're not saying that they're quitting or anything like that, but other teams are really going to challenge you, and you just got to step up to the challenge when it's brought to you.
Yeah, and the challenge tonight, like I said, a North Carolina team that's not that great this year and hasn't done a lot this year. But, I mean, is there something about this North Carolina team that you think is a threat?
I haven't watched too much of them, to be honest with you. I don't think the quarterback is real stellar play, and I can say that, and he come out today and throw for 300 yards.
Oh, yeah. He's a shorter guy, too.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think they're almost a mirror image of what Syracuse is going through, a lot of changes. First year under a coach trying to learn the offense. The defense is probably still struggling with what they thought it was going to be. You think Belichick and you think defense is going to be the lead of the team. And really, I mean, they did I would give, like you said, give them credit for Virginia. They gave Virginia a tough fight. And, Tony Elliott is a real great offensive mind.
Go Orange.
Yeah.
People are more positive.
Yeah, exactly.
You're talking about Tony Elliott.
But yeah, Tony Elliott's a great offensive mind, and for the North Carolina defense to kind of hold those guys down, because North Carolina was one of those teams. I mean, not North Carolina, but Virginia was one of those teams that offensively was putting up some big numbers early in the season.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're going to be in for a fight tonight with the defense from North Carolina. So it's just going to be a matter of whether we can have continuity and be able to, like you say, gain first down. There's somebody, they said this, I think it was Mitch Browning, former offense coordinator, I think during my own time. And it was a stat that always said, he was like, if a team can get at least 20 first downs in a game, that can dictate the outcome of a win and stuff. So I always kind of looked at that at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, maybe we get like 12 first downs and the other team has 26. So I don't know how true that stat is for us winning, but that was one thing he lived by. He was like, hey, our goal is to get at least 20 first downs in a game.
Well, I think that's the players in London have more penalties than points. Mm-hmm. They have 13 penalties, 7 points.
Yeah.
And that's another thing with Syracuse. The last time they were in the Dome, penalties, man.
Yeah.
It was such an ugly, ugly game in that game that they had the last home game. And you got 13 penalties on one side. You got 12 penalties with Syracuse and 25 penalties in the game. And, it felt like Syracuse had 40. And, and so it's about, and again, that comes to detail.
Right.
And accountable.
Right.
Because you're not going to make those stupid mistakes. And I'll tell you this right now. Knowing how North Carolina played Virginia in that tight game under 20, if Syracuse's offense can't get going in this game, we're going to see North Carolina with a shot to take this game in the fourth quarter if Syracuse can't get over 20.
Right.
Because I don't anticipate North Carolina having a prolific offense. But if you're going to play them in a world of 20 or less, I'm going to lean on Carolina.
Right. I mean, it also going to come down to are we going to give the defense time to rest? Because like I say, the more time the defense is on the field, they're just getting worn down. So if the offense is not clicking, it's definitely not going to be a good night.
Yeah, and what I love seeing is I see a guy right here wearing number 44, and I feel like he should be willing to play as well. If you're going to wear 44, you got to come out.
I got 34.
You got 34. You got Sean Tucker.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I've been talking to some people about 44, and they want to see it come back. Mm-hmm. They're like, man, why have it out there? Like you're still playing football. You got to recruit. You got NIL and all this stuff going on in the portal and all these things that kids are being told. Like, I think this would be a perfect time for Syracuse to stand out. Because if they bring back 44, nobody else can do something like that right now, and it's going to give them national exposure.
Actually, I think they should do it. Virginia Tech do it the number 25. It's like a rotational captain honoree number every game. Because I get it what these kids come in. Some guys don't want to maybe live up to the pressure of the 44, or they want to make their own name with their own number.
Or you don't want to give it to a freshman. You want them to earn it.
But again, like you said, you make a defensive, or it don't have to be. It could be offensive, but give it to a captain of the game to represent his number for the game. You know, they did something outstanding during the week in the classroom. You know, because Fran always talk about it's just not on the field, it's off the field. If you do something, you know, fantastic throughout the week and you win the honor of putting that jersey
How many
on.
passes do you think that Ricky completes in the classroom?
Well, he's sitting in the front row, so I would hope he's completing a couple.
And I'd be like, hit the wall. Get the chalk off the plate. I put the chalk. That's what I would do to Ricky in a classroom.
Practice.
I would put chalk on the board, and I'd be like, hit the chalk off the board.
There you go.
That's what we're doing. We're going to teach pinpoint accuracy. But I mean, listen, I'm joking around and whatnot, but I mean, Ricky's trying, Ricky's working. It's just Steve was 3-1 and Ricky's 0-4.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? They've had the same amount of time to be a starting quarterback. Steve's never been a starting quarterback. Ricky's never been a starting quarterback. Steve started one game for Notre Dame, and it was a bowl game when he got out there for his first action. But that was it. So,
yeah.
I mean, you got two first-time starters, and one of them is 3-1, the other one's 0-4. I think what fans are really upset about is they feel like they were lied to when they were told that Steve and Ricky are neck and neck.
Right.
Because watching how they played, that's not true.
Right. But you know what I like where Ricky took it too? Like when he didn't win the job, he was like, hey, I was at LSU. I wasn't even the backup quarterback. So this is even the first time experience for me being the backup.
He was a backup to the backup.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I don't think he took the heart that he didn't win the starting job, but guess what? An injury pushed you into the game.
Yeah.
So, you know, now he's coming in.
You got to be ready so you don't
Be
have to get
ready, exactly. So, I mean, I don't think he took it to heart. You know, he's like, okay, I can learn from Steve after not winning the job, but guess what? Now it's your job to do. So.
Right, and the thing that concerned me with this whole situation is that Steve, when I said to Fran, I said, what is it besides like sheer arm talent and whatnot that got Steve the job? Mm-hmm. And Fran said to me, he has a relationship with everybody on the team.
Right.
And I thought to myself, okay, that's good, but what does that say about Ricky?
Right, right.
And then Ricky got the starting job, and I talked to Ricky about building relationships, and we're about 8 months into him being here because he was here in December because he went with the team out to San Diego, and I got to break that exclusive when he was practicing with the team for the DirecTV Holiday Bowl.
Right.
So he was with the team from December, and then so December into January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, and now you're the starter. And so you've had all this time, you've had almost a year with this team, and I said, so, what about the relationships? And he said, I'm still working on them. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, that could be a red flag.
Right.
And then after his first start, I said, well, how are they going now? And he said, I'm still working on them.
Right.
And at this point, I'm thinking either Ricky's not working hard enough or these guys don't see him as their leader, because there's some disconnect almost a year in of either Ricky's not the leader, that either Ricky's not leading in a way that's commanding people and they're listening, or they don't want to listen, or it's both.
Right.
And I'm not trying to it's not a hate on anybody. It's just at this point, there's a disconnect, and the disconnect is either Ricky is not building those relationships, or maybe these guys just don't want to hear it.
Right. I mean, and then also what I thought the other option, what they said is like Steve commanded the offense better than Ricky. And that says a lot. You come in with a confidence in the huddle. You're able to tell people how to line up properly, where to be on the field. That means a lot. Yeah. And maybe Ricky just didn't experience it. Again, he was like the backup to the backup. He wasn't maybe running the scout team in LSU, I'm just guessing. But that takes a big deal, and then when you're thrown to the fire, and hey, now you might have been running in practice with the 2s and 3s, now you're on the field with the 1s. Yeah. And like you said, you got to build that chemistry. But you've been here over the spring, in competition over the spring. You came out of the spring in the league. So you should have had a little bit better communication, like you were saying, at this part of the season. But, maybe it's something that we don't see that's behind practice that day. It's just not showing. But again, I think, as like I said, maybe just Steve had a better command, and Rico's going to have his opportunity to try to figure it out.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to Ricky, I mean, this is how I look at tonight. If Ricky comes out and he is the starter, he might get some boos tonight. And I like what Fran said. Because they said, well, what do you say to Ricky? He said, I tell him I love you, and they don't know you.
Right.
And it's true. Because, let's be real, anybody who's sitting in the stands, 99.9999999% of the time, if you put them under center, they would not know what. I mean, he gets sacked every time.
It's easier to say it.
Right. It's easier to go, why didn't he see that, than to be on the field and have that point of view. Mm-hmm. And so, what is it, like the worst Division I quarterback is still better than like every fan that might say something?
Exactly.
So, Ricky, if he comes out tonight and they don't move the ball, and at halftime Syracuse has 10 points or less, or they're losing. Mm-hmm. Those are my two things. If Ricky starts tonight and Syracuse only scores 10 points or less, or they're losing at halftime, Fran has to come out in the second half with a different guy.
Yeah, I can see that. Or it might
you
be.
Want Luke? Ready for Luke Carney?
There we go.
We know he can run the ball, and he's exciting people. But if he throws that interception, I think everybody's just going to put a bag on their head. That's what I'm worried about. Because remember when they cheered for Ricky, and then he came out and threw that interception against Colgate.
Exactly.
Uh-oh.
I was getting ugly during the UConn game too, but hey. But no, I agree. I mean, it might be even before that. I mean, if you come out a couple of drives and you're not really moving the ball, you probably don't have an opportunity to wait to halftime.
Yeah. You don't want to lose. See, the thing is, I understand Fran Brown talks about being developmental. Mm-hmm. And I get that. And I know fans don't want to hear that what you're doing now and all the adversity now is going to make you better for the future. But anybody who's sitting in this room or watching online or listening online, like, they all know from their own life experience that what they were going through today may suck and may not be paying off, and the flowers aren't growing yet, but they got to plant it and they got to let it rain on them and they got to deal with it until the flower blooms. So, we all have to go through adversity to get somewhere. So Fran's saying we're going to hurt now so we can be okay later.
Right.
And who hasn't gone through a breakup or lost a job or had somebody pass away that had to go through it in order to be better?
No, I totally agree.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the man I am today is better than the man I was a few years ago, and that's all you can hope for. So, when they talk about development and how it's going to help for the future, that's true. Mm-hmm. It is true. But at the same time, you don't want to lose this city.
No, you don't.
And there's people that are fair weather fans, and even when you're 10-0, they'll still be like, I don't think they're that good. Right?
Who have they played yet?
Who have they played? And then, whatever. So there's people like that, right? But then there's the people that show up to every game, and they cheer in the fourth quarter when the team's down by 20.
Right.
And those are the people that I love the most. Mm-hmm. And, I tell people all the time, if you go to a movie and the movie's not good, do you leave an hour into the movie and say, screw it, I don't care that I spent my money?
Right.
Or, if you have a meal and the appetizer's not good, do you leave before the entree? Mm-hmm. So I tell people all the time, what are you going to do? You're going to go home like Syracuse struggles tonight, what are you going to go home and get rained on, and it's going to be 37 degrees outside when you're walking to your car? Like, I'd rather walk to my car after the game at 37 degrees and walk to my car during the, you know what I mean? So, and you can't watch it at home because YouTube TV doesn't have ESPN now. Surprise. So I think Syracuse did that on purpose. They're like, cut the feed.
Gotta get you to the dome.
So, but I mean, the reality is, if you're going to go to the dome and this is your team and you're wearing the block S, then cheer and get loud. And I tell fans this all the time. You cheer when they're winning, but you've got to cheer when they're losing, because if you've ever played a game in your life, hearing the fan base cheer you on and lift you up when you have adversity, that means more than when people are clapping when you hit a 3 or get a touchdown. Like, if I'm on the basketball court and I hit a 3 and you cheer, that's cool.
Right.
But if I miss 3 shots and you're like, come on, Dan, you got it, that means more to me.
Yeah, exactly. Motivation. That's exactly what you're talking about.
I need motivation.
Speaking of basketball, we need a lot more people in the dome, too.
Yeah, with 37 people in the dome?
Yeah, it was a little sparse there.
How many people would you say? 5,000?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say about 5,000, if that. You know, no band, you know, but hey,
No band?
no band.
Did you? Bow, bow, bow. Show them something.
But it was a good show. That's talk for another day, though.
Yeah. Get the fans in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy? Like, Syracuse used to pull 19,000 people when, like, somebody was coming to the dome they were supposed to beat by 20.
Right.
And now, I don't think they had 19,000 people once last season. There might have been one game.
Like North Carolina.
But that was because North Carolina and
Yeah.
Duke sent their fans.
Right, exactly.
Because Duke fans and North Carolina fans were cheering louder than Syracuse fans in the basketball games last year in the Dome. So when I looked down and I heard people cheer, I'm like, what did I miss? And it was like a North Carolina dunk, and I was like, oh, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So I know there's North Carolina fans in Syracuse, but I'm hoping that the orange outdoes the baby blue tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And tonight's an orange out.
Mm-hmm.
So
All orange.
I'm hoping that people are rocking that orange and rocking. I feel like they should do an orange out all the time because, I mean, it's like you do a white out, that's not our color. You do a blue out, that's the second color. Like, I think Syracuse should do orange outs all the time.
Yeah, I like the way the orange top and the white pants pop. You know, it's just the orange and white combination.
I like the all orange, but they did that one season with Greg Robinson where they wore, it wasn't even their orange.
Oh,
They wore like the yellow orange, like
it was
almost.
a pumpkin.
Huh?
It was a pumpkin orange.
Yeah, it was almost like they put like
It was
the.
like burnt.
Yeah, it's almost like they put them in like the washer.
Yeah.
If something happened, and they wore the all orange helmet, like
Do you
jersey
remember
pants,
the
and they
infamous-
lost.
Do you remember the infamous picture from that game? It's like 3 offensive linemen standing on the sideline with their hands on their hips, looking a little out of weight.
Yeah.
So,
With
it wasn't a good look.
No, and the thing, and like people were like, once you lose in that, they're like, don't ever wear that again.
Yeah, I hate that. You know.
Yeah, I'm like, put the orange in.
Yeah, exactly. The uniform doesn't mean anything.
I'll tell you this right now. If Fran let me go into the locker room and said you could take whatever you want, and it was like one of those like things where you got the shopping cart and you got like 30 seconds, I would take orange pants, an orange jersey, and an orange helmet.
No, orange jersey, white helmet.
Oh, I do like the white helmet.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take 2 helmets.
Yeah. Oh, you getting greedy now.
Oh, yeah. If Fran lets me in there, I'm taking something.
I'm getting everything.
Yeah. Like, they let us in there before, but there was no stuff. I said, Fran, you knew I was coming. I said, how you going to let me in your house and not put any pillows on the couch?
Say no.
Because when I tell you the college football playoff national championship, I said, Isaac, I'm going to take one of these pillows. Because they were college. I was like, what are they going to do with these college football playoff pillows?
They can't use them all.
And they can't use the 2025 ones anymore. You know? So, but
Got you a souvenir.
that's what I get.
A souvenir.
You didn't keep your ticket? So, let's do prediction for tonight.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
I'm going to go 24-13 Syracuse.
24-13 Syracuse? Okay.
I got 60% of prediction on my side, according to my phone. According to the phone, Syracuse.
Oh, we know the phone. You know what? If you thought your phone told you the truth before, AI or whatever it was yesterday said Dino Babers was still the coach of Syracuse on Facebook. So.
Speaking of coaches, a lot of coaches losing their jobs right now.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it.
Okay.
So you got Syracuse 24-13. All right. So I'm gonna make a note here. So Syracuse 24-13. I'm gonna put the note down here for us, and I'm gonna say, Nick, what do you think? Should I go Syracuse? North Carolina?
Exactly.
Listen, okay, if Luke Carney or another quarterback plays, I think they'll win. If it's Ricky for 4 quarters, then you're going to have some drunk people yelling at you tonight, Nick. Listen, this is how I feel about it. Either you're going to have people drinking and giggling and laughing, or you're going to have people drinking, punching their reflection in your window because they think it's a guy trying to fight with them. And you don't want that. So I'm going to pick Syracuse tonight.
Okay.
And so Isaac's got him 24-13. Yeah, when you see a guy break dance on St. Patrick's Day in a window of a building in Detroit, and then he does like his dance, and then he looks at the guy, and he gets pissed off that the guy knows all his moves, and it's because he's looking in a window. I said, man, this is one of the best things I've ever seen in my life.
The best battle.
Yeah. He's like, how's this guy know my moves? He's like, he hits him with like a new thing, and then he's like, go. And then the guy does it all, and he's like this. I was like, man, he knows you.
Yeah, there you go.
So you got 24-13. I guess that's what I'm going to use now. When someone's like, I'm having a bad day, I'm like, is it a break dancing in front of a window and thinking that the guy knows your moves type of day, or is it not as bad as that? Because I don't think a lot of days are that bad. But so you're going to say 24-13 Syracuse. I'm going to say.
What you got?
Ooh. I'm going to pick 27. 27-20 Syracuse.
27-20? Okay.
27-20.
That's decent. I got you.
Listen, all I want Syracuse fans to be able to say is we're 1-0 against Bill Belichick.
Exactly.
And his girlfriend.
We need that.
And, well, is it his girlfriend or his granddaughter?
His girlfriend.
Oh. And also his granddaughter. Bill, don't listen to this tape. Hey, I got to talk to Bill. We had a nice conversation.
Not no more.
I hope he doesn't see this. He's like, Bill, was that you? I'd be like, nah, man, it's Halloween. Somebody dressed up like me.
It was Luigi.
It was Luigi. It wasn't me. You know I got a goatee. He had a mustache. So.
True point.
So yeah, I'm going to go 27-20, and you're going to go 24-13. We're both picking Syracuse in this game. I think the fans feel good. I think they feel good.
I think so, too.
I think they're going to pick Syracuse. I think they feel like they're going to get this one.
Yeah.
We had Syracuse getting this one when you and I did our preseason prediction, and Steve Angeli was the quarterback. We said 8-4.
Right.
And
again, that's not even knowing what Steve was made of or what he's about. Just going through the schedule, kind of picking it off. You know, hey, yeah.
Now I feel like Syracuse, it would be good to get to 5-7. But
you know what? Even coming into the season, I think a lot of people would have said 5-7 would have been a decent year looking at the schedule just up front.
Yeah, somebody said to me, they go, how does Syracuse have the same record that they had last year, this year? And I said, play different teams. I said, you're at SMU, at Clemson, at Notre Dame, Tennessee on neutral ground, at Miami, at Georgia Tech. Syracuse didn't have a tough schedule and just teams. All their tough games were away from home.
Exactly.
None of those tough games were at home in the Dome.
Right.
0. I thought Georgia Tech was going to be good. I don't know if people were with me on that. I thought Clemson was going to be better than they've been.
Right.
You know, Miami, I know they trip up, and they've already tripped once, but they've been all right. I know SMU is a tough team. I don't care if they have 3 losses. I know they're a tough team. And then, you know, I mean, Notre Dame's you're playing in South Bend. You know they're going to make it interesting, even though they got a young quarterback as well.
A hell of a running back.
Right, and in Tennessee, you got a different quarterback. You don't have Nico Iamaiava, but you have Joey Aguilar. And after I watched him play down in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium at the Aflac kickoff, I thought to myself, I said, man, this guy's going to be up for the Heisman if he plays games like this.
I mean, he started off good. I mean, until they got to conference play. I mean, he hasn't done a bad job.
Yeah. Well, the SEC's all right.
Yeah.
You know what somebody told me when they were defending Indiana? They said Texas A&M and Alabama haven't played anybody. I said, I'm not answering that.
Yeah, no. Leave it alone.
I mean, I answered some of them, and one guy was like, he said a bunch of stuff, and I responded, he's like, can somebody with an education that, like, deserves their credentials? And I was like, okay. I said, I told you facts.
Put Indiana in the SEC. Let's see what they do.
Yeah, that's what Paul Finnenbaum said. He said, put Indiana in the SEC, give them the last 4 games, that some of these other teams have. Let me see them go undefeated. Like he said, let them play the five. What was it? One of these teams, Texas A&M, like they played 5 straight ranked teams.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's.
And then, you know what they said to me? They're like, Alabama lost to FSU. I'm like, that was week 1.
Exactly.
Look at what they've done since. You're telling me, you would take Indiana over Alabama? Surely based on undefeated? And
right.
listen, if the argument is they're undefeated so they deserve to be in the top 2, then you need to put Navy in the top 2. You need to put Memphis in the top 2 earlier this season. Like, if undefeated is all you need, then there's a lot of teams that got something to gripe about over these last few years.
Exactly. I mean,
I'll play a bunch of unranked. I would rather have Syracuse with a backup quarterback play Indiana's schedule at Maryland, at Penn State, Wisconsin, at Purdue. That's a combined conference record of 1-17. Do you know that this season, Indiana at 8-0, the teams that they played in the Big Ten have an overall record of 35-35 and 14-29 in the conference. Like they have a horrendous, like they're 500 or below, and then the non-conference opponents they had, they don't have a good, like I did all my research and I said this team's 0-4, this team's 0-5, this team's 0-5. Like, how are people were telling me like, Dan, Penn State and Purdue, you can't, like those games are no slouches. Penn State and Purdue are combined 0-9 in the Big Ten.
I mean, yeah, you can look at a name on paper, but, you know, results speak for themselves. And, you know, sometimes, I don't know if it's just a Big Ten thing, but a lot of teams have weird, uneven schedules. You know, some teams just only play 1, 2 of the top teams in the conference.
Yeah.
And everybody else is just playing cellar dwellers, you know. So it doesn't really make any sense. And for people to come and look at the ACC and say, well, the ACC is really not a conference, but then you look at the Big Ten and you're like, okay, the bottom half of their conference can't compete with some of the top half of the ACC, so what's the difference?
Well, look at the ACC right now. SMU's still in play, Miami's still in play, Louisville's still in play, Duke's still in play, Virginia's still in play, Georgia Tech's still in play. Like, what are we talking about?
Right.
I mean, there's all these teams that potentially can play, and if you're going to talk about the Big Ten, which has 18 teams, the only 4 teams you should be talking about are Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, and Iowa. And I would argue with people that Iowa is maybe a hotter team than they get credit for.
Right.
And I know that Indiana beat Oregon, but I'd love to see that again. And keep in mind, Iowa lost to Indiana by 5. And they missed a field goal, and then the game went the other way. You know, so it's like they had an opportunity to take the lead. I spoke with Tim Lester about it. So, I mean, and Ohio State, they got 1 quality win this year against Texas, and if Texas loses again, that's and this is what I tell people, because they come to me and they go, well, they beat Illinois. Illinois is the top 9. It was 9 at the time, and that's a big argument, and they hate when I say this, but I said, when Illinois was ranked 9, how'd they get there?
Right.
They beat 3 unranked teams. Do you know any other team ranked in the top 10 in the last decade in college football that lost to another team in the top 25 by 50 or more points? I
stayed up there.
I challenge any fan in the world to find me another team that was ranked in the top 10 like Illinois that lost by 50 or more points when they're ranked in the top 10. So and this is what I said. I was like, in basketball, if Syracuse beats Kansas in November, and Kansas is, at the time, it's a quad 1 win. If Kansas has a bad season, when the committee looks at putting Syracuse in or out of the tournament, that could be a quad 3 win. You don't get a quad 1 win because of the time you played them. You get whatever they are.
At the end of the season,
And so Illinois, I look at that the same way as I look at college basketball. Stop defending it. They're not in the top 25 right now. They're nowhere near it. So Illinois was a 9, but when you look at that win for Indiana, that win right now is not a quad 1 win. That's a quad 3 win. That's like that team's probably 37th in the country right now.
Yeah. If that.
So so this is what I say to them. If you're going to give Indiana credit for beating Illinois and calling it a top 10 team, then everybody that beat Clemson should get credit for beating a top 10 team.
Exactly.
But they're not going to do that with Clemson.
No.
Because fans have rose-colored glasses sometimes. You know, and I've been talking about this Indiana thing because it's got nothing to do with Indiana. It has to do with any team in this scenario. But I think people took it personally, because it's their team.
No.
I get you.
I get you.
But I want to thank those people for giving me over 7,000 people on one post, over 500 reactions, and for me hitting a milestone on social media.
Yeah.
So
Keep doing what you're doing.
hate to love it.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about the coach firings.
Okay.
There's been like 80 of them.
Do you think Brian Kelly's going to go to UCLA? That's the talk.
You know what? I don't want him to because UCLA. I mean, I want UCLA to be good again because when I used to play NCAA, I played with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and who played for the Dolphins after. And I really liked that team, and I feel like I used UCLA's team like more than Syracuse because I just loved running with Kareem. I like the team. I mean, I think I don't really want Brian Kelly to go there because. I don't know, it's going to take a minute to turn that thing.
You're right.
And, I think there's some
Actually,
good
the interim guy's not doing a bad job.
No. He won 3 games in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Before losing to Indiana. I love how they said the Indiana win over UCLA was a statement win. They beat them 56-6. What statement were you making? We beat a team that fired their coach?
Right.
If you beat a team that fired your coach, you beat a team that stinks.
Right.
There's no good team in America that fired their coach
middle of the season.
Middle of the season. You know what I mean? So I'm going to tell you this about Brian Kelly. He went 34-14 at LSU in 3 years and 8 games. He went to a bowl game every year the last 3 years, competed for an SEC championship his first year in 2022. He won 10 games in 2022, 2023, won 9 games last year. That is only a fireable offense if you're in the SEC.
Yeah, that's what I said. If I'm a coach and I'm in an up-and-coming program and the SEC come calling and said, I know it's money-driven too, so I understand that piece, but
Listen,
if I'm happy where I'm at, kind of like the France situation.
Yeah.
People, he's going to go this way, he's going to go. Why would you join that? Because they're going to give you 2 years, 3 years tops.
Oh, what if Fran went to Penn State? I'm like, and hear about getting fired for the next 3 years?
Exactly. I mean, those jobs is do or die, and that's what I said when Texas and Oklahoma joined that conference. I was like, why? I mean, I guess it's nothing. Money again.
For the money, but you think about the path.
The path to the top playoff in the Big 12 would have been a lot easier.
Look at the Big 12 right now.
Right.
Besides BYU, who do you put your money on?
Right. Arizona State. Right?
Cincinnati's been all right.
Yeah.
Utah's been all right.
Right.
Texas Tech doesn't have their quarterback anymore. By the way, this is my annoying moment of the week. Texas Tech fans were told that they can't. Oh, I remember.
Okay.
I remember part of it. I might have stared off in space. I don't know what happened to me. So it's Halloween, folks. But so Texas Tech fans. This was part of my annoying moment of the week because I don't even understand how this was a thing. They were warned and told they can't do this anymore, or they could pay a fine for the school. They can't take tortillas and throw them during the game. They were taking tortillas into Texas Tech games and throwing them.
Why is that?
I have no idea.
Why is that a bad?
It's such a waste of food.
It is. Yeah.
As a card-carrying Italian Hispanic, if you're gonna throw a tortilla,
give me a nacho.
Right. Why are you doing that? So, but I'm thinking to myself.
But what does it mean though?
But then they were telling people, they were like, don't be we're gonna confiscate your tortillas when you're coming through security. Are you gonna frisk people and feel for the tortilla that they got inside the bra, the tortilla that's taped to your leg and all that stuff? My mom goes, first and foremost, why do they have tortillas at the game?
Exactly, that's my point. What does it represent?
So if somebody goes to get a burrito at Texas Tech Stadium and they're like, hold everything in it, I just want the tortilla.
Exactly.
It's we know what you're going to do.
Because, I know what Clemson fans throw at South Carolina fans, but I'm not going to say it because of the nickname. You never heard this one? Prophylactic.
Oh, it's not the laxatives?
No, prophylactics.
Oh, okay.
Because it's Gamecocks, so they. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, exactly. So.
That's really funny. So they give him a little blue pill?
Well, not the pill, but the protection. They throw the protection.
Okay. They throw the protection. Okay. Well, it's better than what the WNBA got.
What's this?
They were throwing
Oh, okay, I got you. I think I can do
things that you buy at Spencer's
Oh, okay, I got you.
on the court. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, what is that? And you know what? Like, I don't look at that and go, oh man, like, you know, ha ha ha, WNBA, gotcha. I think about that man that brought that in there, and I'm like, what are your life choices?
Exactly. Why?
Why do you have that? Could you imagine getting frisked in security, and they're like, sir, take your phone out your pocket. He's like, it's not my phone.
I found your lightsaber.
Snap, there goes your lightsaber. But no, the game kind of. But like, why do you have tortilla at Texas Tech? And I never knew that.
And they throw them at who? Just
They
anybody?
throw them. I guess it's like a frisbee.
Ah, yeah, that doesn't make sense.
You know what? I'm going to tell this to Clemson. If you don't want to get in trouble for throwing
You know what?
protection
Yeah.
on the field, wrap it in a tortilla.
There you go.
But you know what? Like, why are they doing that? They're saying to have safe stuff. You know? Like throwing that. It's kind of like, you know, like some teachers.
Does it make it to the field, or they just throw it in?
There's
the sand?
no way that makes it to the field.
Exactly.
You would have to put it in a bag and then like tie a rock
frisbee.
to it and then throw the rock on the field. You have to throw a brick.
Such a waste, man. I don't
Yeah,
know.
like why are you buying up all that stuff and doing that?
Hey, they're not complaining if you're buying it.
That's why we got all the babies in America, because Clemson bought up all the protection. I see you, Clemson. They were, you know, I thought there was more class than that. I didn't know.
Yeah, no, that's what I've heard. I could stand corrected, but when they say go, you know, hey, they throw it at them.
Hey, you know what? They got these.
You know what, they say it on TV, so I don't know why I'm not saying it, but I'm not going to say it.
Well, and here's the thing, though. They said on TV for how many decades, Redskins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now they're Commanders, but nobody's fighting about changing the name Gamecock. And they got the hats that say, I love, you know.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, they sell that stuff at lids,
They do.
you know. Protect yourself.
Protect yourself at all times.
Yes, at all times.
So we got Penn State vacancy, we got LSU,
We got Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
So the word, some of the Twittersphere, you know, talking about James Franklin going to Virginia Tech.
Yeah, that's what I heard in the beginning. But
I'm like, does
there's some
Virginia
other
Tech
jobs
do they have that money though?
no, that's what I heard he was struggling with. The reason why they're in the position they're in, because not really investing in facilities, NIL, and you know, they're just having a hard go at it right now. But I would think if I'm James Franklin, do I go back to the SEC? I mean, Arkansas is open, right?
Yeah, but I think Bobby Petrino's like sitting in that seat.
Yeah.
They want to like when have
It's
you
hard
ever,
to get it out of his hands. You know?
When have you ever seen it? It's hard to get a lot of things out of Bobby Petrino's hands. You know.
He's firing people, so yeah.
When have you ever seen an interim coach fire somebody?
Exactly.
He became the interim coach and fired a bunch of defensive coaches, he fired like a bunch of defensive guys. Like, when has that ever happened where an interim can fire? Like he was a coordinator,
Right.
And then he became the interim head coach and fired the other coordinator.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, most interims just happen to still be on
So
the job.
obviously he's gonna be the coach.
Yeah.
I don't know why people even talk about Arkansas. They're like, oh, it's vacant. No, it's not. It's kind of like when Doug Marrone was brought into Gus Bradley's staff in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
They brought him in with Nate Hackett. So you brought a head coach with an offensive coordinator to be on the staff with a head coach and an offensive coordinator. Like you didn't package that to just shift in.
Mm-hmm.
And I made the prediction and wrote the article like well in advance. I was like, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It was like 2 years in advance. I said, well, this is, folks, like, he didn't come in here to be the assistant head coach or whatever the heck they call him.
So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, a guy I know you love near and dear to your heart. Do you think Mike Norvell survives the season?
Florida State fans, like, I understand they won the last BCS, and I understand that when they won that BCS, they got a bunch of free crab legs from Publix. But
I heard over his, I don't know, what's this, his third season in Florida State?
It's like his fourth, but like COVID was, I always say like whatever he is, it's like not that. It's like if it's 4, it's 3.5.
Gotcha. The reason why I bring it up is because the years that he struggled, there was some stats somebody put online that the years that he struggled, Syracuse was on his schedule. And in the midst of struggling, they played Syracuse, beat Syracuse, and went on a hot streak to finish the season. They kind of saved his bacon a little bit. There's no Syracuse on the schedule.
Fran said, "Oh hell, not Canada. We ain't doing that.
Exactly.
We're not gonna put no raisins in your salad, clothes." But I think. I mean, listen, Mike Norvell. It's Florida State. Mm-hmm. They're not patient. I think they've been a little bit more patient than I thought they would be.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, I mean, I could see them moving on, but I really think it would be wrong. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If Florida State lets Mike Norvell go, if I'm Penn State, I'm calling him. If I'm LSU and all that, he can recruit.
Yeah.
He could recruit to Memphis.
Yeah.
And, Memphis doesn't get the respect they deserve. So, I mean, honestly, if Mike Norvell is available, he automatically becomes a top 5 candidate that I will call.
Mm-hmm. Would he go to Virginia Tech?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to leave all the resources at Florida State.
Just go to Virginia Tech.
To go to Virginia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, if Rhett Lashley, which I hope doesn't happen, but
if his name out there too?
If he left SMU, then if Mike went to SMU, I could see that because it's Dallas.
Loud.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Remember my name?
So tell me it one more time.
Starts with the L.
Oh, Lisa, right? Yeah, I was gonna say.
How could you forget that name?
Yeah, I was like, I can't forget Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. So, Lisa is our unofficial producer.
There we go. I like it.
But unofficial producer.
There we go.
Yeah.
We're hired.
We're keeping you around. But yeah, so I mean, Arkansas is open technically. Stanford is weird because I've never had a team bring in a new coach, call him the interim, what they did to Frank Reich, and be like, yeah, this is not our coach, but he's our coach for the year. Which I honestly think is what so go me on this. I think Stanford did this to their fan base. They called him an interim, which stated that he was temporary. And then you watch how he recruits and how the team does, and then you can take the tag off, and if you take the tag off and make him the head coach, nobody's mad at you.
Right.
And if he loses, nobody's mad at you because he was the interim.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's kind of like a really good chess move that, calling him the interim and saying that he was a temporary person puts you in a place with Frank Reich where nobody's really giving him a lot of crap.
Right.
So Stanford's open, Arkansas, Kent State just hired their guy. So Kent State hired their guy, and then he was the interim. And then you got Florida's open.
LSU.
Okay, now I'll say this right now. Mike Norvell going to Florida.
Okay. Yeah.
And then playing Florida State and letting them see what they let go. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I could see him doing that actually.
I read somewhere somebody was rooting for a guy to go to Florida. I can't think of the name now. It's just a root. It was somebody who was like, if they can go there and they
I said, I was like, y'all want Dan Mullen back? Since you fired him for almost making the college football playoff?
I don't know. I think it was Ole Miss coach, Lane Kiffin. But I don't think Lane's going to leave Ole Miss.
Lane. If I'm Lane, I'm not taking the Lane train out of Mississippi.
Right.
They're playing to be in the college football playoff right now. Why would Lane leave? I think Lane has become synonymous with Ole Miss to the point that if people don't remember him from other people's staffs, they just they think that program is his.
Right.
And when you get to a place where the program is yours and they're gonna make a statue of you and all that stuff, I think if Jimbo stayed at Florida State, I think that was his thing. And talking with Tim Lester today, this is crazy. Since 1979, Iowa's only had 2 head coaches.
Yeah, I know. I mean, look.
In about 50 years.
Right.
Their coach they got right now, Ferentz, he's in a place right now where he's about to hit 30 years in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And the guy before him was at 20.
Yeah. You don't see that. I mean, That's almost like the Bayheim of football.
And and so Kirk Ferentz, do you know, before he went to Iowa, he was on the Browns staff with Nick Saban and Bill Belichick. But, yeah, I mean, there's all these. Okay, so if you were a head coach and you saw all the vacancies, I put this up. I put the poll up. I'm actually going to see where it's at right now. So I put this poll up on our X. You can follow us on the former Twitter, X @CallDT. That's CALLDT. And I put this poll up about the jobs that are available. And I wanted to get people's thoughts on it. The early voting was for LSU. So, well, let me ask you this first before I get there. Would you like to see Ed Ogeron return and be the head coach of the LSU Tigers to bring the Ragin' Cajun back down there? 78% said yes, 22% said no. Where do you lie?
I think he's a good fit for that area. I mean, you hear him talk and you think Louisiana.
He sounds like the guy from The Waterboy.
Exactly, he fits the mold. But I think he'll be a good choice. I don't know the reason for them letting him go, but
stupidity.
Exactly. He had a couple good runs when he was there, so that would be a bad choice. But I mean, I'd probably be, if you were saying what job would I pick, maybe?
Yeah, so I said, of the jobs available, what do you consider to be the highest profile job? And your choices are Florida, Penn State, LSU, or Oklahoma State.
Me personally, I would say Florida.
Okay. So, do you think that you could go to Florida and win with DJ Lagway?
I would think that, not just that. I mean, you're in a prime recruiting area. They have the resources from the SEC.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since the old ball coach was out there on the sideline calling up the plays, and like we say, offense wins games and puts people in the stands. So
yeah.
I think it's just an attractive location. It's just down south football. Those people are diehard, passion to the bone. They're gonna show up 50,000 to a spring game.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I think that's one of the more attractive ones out there.
So the fans on X have chosen Oklahoma State 75%, LSU 25% for the highest profile job, 0% Florida, 0% Penn State.
Now I would say Oklahoma State might be the safest call.
Yeah.
Out of the
yeah, Mike Gundy was there forever.
Yeah, I mean it's almost they're gonna give you some rope and let you go, and then hopefully you can make something of yourself. But
yeah.
I just think the SEC, to me personally, is a meat grinder for coaches, and if you just don't have success,
you got 2 to 3 seasons, and that's it.
Exactly, they're not waiting around in the SEC for you. So.
No. The SEC gives you.
You got to be a high-profile name coming with some great coordinators or whatnot to be hired by the SEC.
Yeah, and I mean, some people said, "Hey, let me be the SEC head coach because I'll coach for 3 years, get fired, and take my $70 million buyout."
I was going to say that. You read my mind. In getting hired, my buyout's going to be in my contracts.
Yeah. How high is my buyout? So with that being said, Isaac's got Syracuse tonight over North Carolina, 24-13. I have Syracuse over Bill Belichick and the Tar Heels, 27-20. And of course, Wake Up Call Game Day has been with you this season exclusively at Myers Creek here in the Syracuse Inner Harbor on 720 Van Rensselaer Street in Syracuse, New York. And we have been here for all home games of the 2025 Syracuse football season. We will be back 2 days after Thanksgiving, about a month from now, a little bit less than a month from now, on November 29th. We will be back here. We will be all totina in the corner like you are with all that turkey and the stuffing, but we'll join you after Thanksgiving on November 29th for Syracuse Boston College, either pregame or postgame. Check our Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. For now, from Myers Creek, that is
It's me, Mario. No, Isaac Albert.
And a Luigi. Look at that mustache, Luigi. I did it for you. I actually didn't, but I can't say why I did it. So, yeah. It's me, Mario. So we are going to bid you all adieu. Have a fantastic night. Get up to the Dome. Stay safe. If you're here at Myers Creek, just hope that they don't have YouTube TV. And with that being said, we are good to go. Shout out to Nick. Make sure you treat your bartenders and your staff well at Myers Creek. We love you, Syracuse. Have yourselves a good night. Go enjoy the Dome. Let's get a win over Bill Belichick, folks. Y'all be good.